I've been working for flow traders for the last 7 years. For the last 5.5, I was in our Amsterdam office, covering the Nordic and Baltic region. I'm part of the institutional trading team, which basically means we are in touch with banks, brokers, and institutional counterparties, pricing globally listed ETFs from all issuers, listed on all exchanges, globally basically. So I've always had a passion for some kind of exchange traded vehicles. Previously it was more on the certificates warrant side, but I have to say this is more, how should I put it, more, it feels better to actually work with something which I truly believe adds value both to institutions and to private individuals. Maybe it's not politically correct to say this, but I have to say we were or we are spoiled in Europe in terms of that it's very, the market is rather transparent, the market is rather harmonized across the countries. Obviously there are cultural differences also in Europe, but in terms of ETF trading, everyone is doing it more or less the same way. Coming out here, the demands are a lot higher. The mistake many firms and also on the issuer side does is looking at Asia like, okay, we need to grow the Asia market. But if you look at the institutional segment, there's already a huge ETF usage among institutions, but not necessarily in Asia listed ETFs. So when we speak with institutions, their demands are basically trading globally. That you do not have in Europe, you don't have it in the US, for example. If I look at the institutional trading side, I think key, and I think that actually goes for all kinds of work, you have to be genuine. This industry sometimes employs people who I feel is not actually genuinely believing in what they're doing. I think no matter what you're doing, it may be selling shoes or whatever, you have to like what you're doing, you have to believe in what you're doing. Of course you could say that I'm a salesman, but at least for me, I cannot sell something which I don't believe in, right? It doesn't work. I think at Flow you have a sort of small company kind of culture, meaning that you have to forget about politics, you have to forget about who is responsible for what, you just have to do what you see that you have to do in order to get the job done. That can be in terms of trading, it can also be in terms of taking care of counterparties, doing screening, doing all those boring tasks which every job has, right? If you're not willing to do that, I'm sorry, then we're not interested. I think it's very important, no matter what you do, that you have people to learn from, that you have truly good colleagues or a boss or a manager or whatever it might be. I mean, the world is full of very ambitious people, but you have to have the right guidance. So I would probably be more interested in taking a less attractive position, but with the right manager or the right colleagues, compared to taking the fancy names with maybe where I don't feel that, okay, I have the support, or I have someone who truly believes in me, or who truly wants to make me better, right? Development is key.